Fleet Pond, your pond, is the largest freshwater lake anywhere in Hampshire, and it's a site of special scientific interest, which translates as a really important place for wildlife. And it's been here since about the 10th century. It was given by King Edgar to the Bishop of Winchester as a means of thanking him for his support when he became king in 973. It was then in the hands of the Priory and Convent of St Swithin, and it was a productive fishery until the 15th century, when it was taken under tenancy by Fleet Farm. And the cost of that tenancy was 100 fishes to be taken from here and delivered fresh to Winchester. Now, how they managed that without the M3 and modern railways, one can only imagine. Well, they probably didn't, because very rapidly the rent was revised to 23 shillings. Now, I've got to tell you that at this time, Fleet itself didn't exist. Fleet Town wasn't there until the 19th century, when the railway line that came out of London through Basingstoke and onto Southampton stopped at a place called Fleet Pond Halt. And Londoners found it fashionable to come down here, get some exercise and some fresh air, and it became a very popular destination. In fact, some businessmen decided it was so nice they'd build themselves some weekend retreats around the outside of it. And of course, to service them, traders came too, and gradually the town began to build. In fact, Fleet probably wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the pond. But today, the pond faces a major problem, and if nothing's done about it, it could be in terminal decline, and that would be, frankly, terrible. The problem arises because over the years there's been an accumulation of silt here, and that's reduced the amount of aquatic plant and animal life, in fact wildlife in general. There's so much silt and algae in suspension in the water here that water quality is declining to a point where Fleet Pond could lose its Site of Special Scientific Interest status. And if it does that, it will also lose all of the protection that this status confers. I'm not being alarmist, but if nothing's done, there's a very real danger that we could lose Fleet Pond altogether. The silt gets into the pond mainly through the two feeders, the Gelvert and the Brookley streams. This is the Gelvert here. It's run down from the Ministry of Defence land up there at Long Valley. It's gone through a culvert underneath the Basingstoke Canal, runs past me here all the way down to Sandy Bay in the pond, where over many years it's deposited a huge amount of silt. Now, the MOD have done everything they can to reduce the amount of silt coming down here. But the problem is the material that's already there. That's what we've got to get rid of. The Brookley stream runs through Fleet Town, passes through Oakley Park and residential gardens, and along the way it collects tons of fallen leaves and all of the rubbish that our throwaway society discards. All of the vegetation rots down to form a black liquid silt called detritus silt. In Brookley Bay, the silt is so deep and so soft that we can't wade out to remove the rubbish, nor can we even get a boat in as the water there is now too shallow. So the rubbish just piles up, not only to form an eyesore, but also as a danger to wildlife. Here, the dredging of the silt and some form of grill to stop that rubbish is urgently needed. We have a plan to restore the pond and at the same time improve the facilities for anglers, walkers, joggers and of course families to rediscover what those early Londoners found. But not surprisingly, I've got to tell you, it's going to cost, and it's going to cost a lot. So we need the support not only of government and non-government agencies, people like Natural England, the Environment Agency, Hart Council, but also local businesses. But then again also, and most importantly, you, the public, you who have most to gain when this area is restored. And for that reason, we're launching our campaign. It's called Clearwater, and obviously we aim to raise as much money as possible to restore this area. And when you think about it, this is your pond. It's our heritage. And you know, we can save it because it's worth it.